Here we go. Somebody was at home at last. Ah, there you are, humans, in the trees yet again. It is the morning of the night before, and somebody who shall remain nameless, who normally goes under the moniker of the Hobbit, suggested lure fishing. Well, we will go lure fishing, but in the meantime I am supposed to be somewhere else doing something else, but I do happen to have a lure rod and lures and a little bit of time and a dog walker across the way. So why should I be doing what I'm supposed to be doing when I could be doing what I want to be doing? Yes. So we have an estuary, top tide, 1 hour. So let's throw some lures about and see what happens. See what he looks like in the water. Very pretty. Don't know if you can see him. Some mullet about. Usually where there's mullet, there's a bass or two. I think the dog has seen a bass. We're not going to faff about changing lures, whatever. This is a good lure, it's about the right size, good action. And they work, so just a matter of bumping into a bass. And just because they were here the other day doesn't mean they'll be here today, but for those wondering why I got sunglasses on and it's cloudy, I can see through the glare on the water. You probably can't see bugger all. I brought my squeaky reel for Stuart because he loves it, and we're working the lure fast because the very same Stuart is into the dipping idea, and he was in the sea the other night and he said it's bloody boiling. So the fish should be plenty active. Of course we could have gone for surface lures. I might try that tonight in the dark. Could be fun. And since those mullet have left, I have not seen another fish, except for a bass that is literally under my feet. Let's see if we can get him to. Wow, he's interested, he's interested. He didn't take it by any means, he's just hanging there now. Now that's interesting. This is a smallish lure, pretty good general sized, and that bass was about 2 or 3 pound, and he did a quick spin around and had a look at it and then just went away. So what is going on? Perhaps we should try something that will annoy him a bit more, perhaps, I don't know. Who would have thought a bass would turn that down now? I'm not exactly sure why the bass are in the estuary, what they're after, crabs, whatever, I don't know. But the ones I've seen don't seem to be doing much. It's certainly not proving easy to catch. There's another fish in front of us. Can't see what he is. Well, the lure went right past him, so I presume it's a mullet or a completely uninterested bass. Maybe we will have to change the lure. So we've had bass that refuse live ragworm, bass that refuse well tried and trusted lures, if it's not working, it's not working, is it? So odd as it may seem, let's change it. I haven't got many lures with me, but I've got a couple, and they're all things that work. So let us try flying condom. They're very popular with everybody. Let's see. Can you see him? You've got to give him a bit of a jerk to get him spinning. Well, the lure literally just bumped over the top of a mullet then. Maybe we're fishing too big. It's definitely stranger because I've caught on black minnows here before. But on those days I've seen no bass at all. They've just come out of the blue. So did several bass refuse the lure, and then one took it. And that bass, fair enough, he was pretty close. He swam right under my feet. At that point he definitely hadn't seen me, he was not bothered. Maybe when I chucked the lure out he saw the movement and he was suspicious, and then that upset him enough that he didn't take the lure. Don't know. Plausible deniability there. It's not my fault. Yay. Probably is my fault. Probably he saw me on the rocks, even though we got the thick herbage behind me. Up there, look, so we're not skylined. He still would have seen movement. They're going to have a certain sense of self-preservation for sure. Problem is, there's doubt in my mind now, but then the other day when we were fishing worms, various bass refused live ragworm. And last night when we were out, we were down in Porthcawl and not much was happening. A bass actually came up and attacked my float. I was float fishing live ragworm while I was fishing for conger eels. And a bass came up and just attacked the stationary float and ignored the bait. And I swapped over to a baby squid bait, and I don't know if it was the same fish or what, but it just spent 5 minutes just pulling at the bait, just taking the float under, letting it back up, taking it under, letting it back up, just messing with everything, and didn't get him. So fish behaviour is never straightforward. You might have the brain the size of a pinhead, but it's not wired up the same way as our brain is, so we can't really think like him. All we can do is fish, observe, learn from our observations. Now the water's a bit more coloured, we might have a better chance. I don't have a surface popper with me, but what I do have is a lure that's caught me plenty of bass in the open sea. Big Rapala. Now, I swapped the trebles for singles. It might not have been the best idea, I don't know. But at least with him we can fish him really slow, right in the surface layers. That Rapala is old, really old, probably at least 30 years. show you is how he moves. Lovely action on him, really shallow look. And he has caught me some good bass, 5-6 pounders. So maybe because he's really high up in the water and we can slow the retrieve down. Yeah, I feel a little bit more confidence now. Don't know why, because all 3 lures that we've tried catch bass. And that chartreuse whipping, you can see there's almost luminous, definitely fluorescent. Gives it a couple of little hot spots. Might make a difference, might not. This particular lure was, when I first bought it, oh, suin jumping down there, was, I think I was still living in Birmingham. So that is late 1970s, and it was particularly good for pike, simply because you could fish it so bloody slow. Literally just in the surface film on lakes, in amongst the lilies, and just wind it just fast enough so it was shimmying along its little wobble, and it was deadly for pike. And you could see how confident they were, because there were no lunges and slashes. They would just swim up to it and clomp down on it, because they were that confident they were going to get themselves a free meal. Which, of course, why Rapalas are so bloody successful. I use them all the time for all sorts of things. Oh, Jesus, bloody Christ! There's a bass after it, there's a bass after it. Oh, damn it, he's right underneath me. He came after it, swiped at it, but from a distance. And then followed it. He was about 3 feet down underneath it, just following it along. What is it? These things just too big. I've got a smaller Rapala. Maybe this water is just so quiet that they're not in any rush to do anything. But that's 2 fish now we've seen. You know what, I'm going back to the black minnow, because it fishes down on the level where I'm seeing the fish. It's down there with them. You can definitely see it, and it's much, much smaller. So let's go back to where we started. Well, we've got the fish. They're vaguely, there's another one. Just come in the culvert now, and he's swimming off upstream. If I make a long cast up, I'm going to cross paths with him. Straight up the bank, like so. He's going to see that. Probably going to refuse it, but he's going to see it. What's a little bit odd about these fish is, when I've watched the bass in here before, when I've been mullet fishing and you've got plenty of time, they have particular routes that they follow, and we're seeing that. They come across this culvert, for instance. But whenever they see something on the bottom, their head's down, grubbing straight away. They see crab, whatever, shrimp, whoosh, down. So they don't hang about, they move spot to spot quickly. When they get to the spot of their choice, they scope it out, grab something, and then move on. I have not seen a single fish deviating from the straight line movement, They come straight across into the culvert, round the culvert once, sometimes twice, and then off up the river. So are they just not seeing anything? In which case they would be hungry and they would attack my lure, surely. Or are they just not feeding at all? It definitely looks as if I'd have had the ragworm here today, we might have had a fish. We'd used the float to attract their attention to the worm underneath. We might have succeeded, but we don't have any worms left. They were looking distinctly unwell last night, as in dead. I mean, it's possible that we could be better off with the fly rod and the little size 10 and 12 mullet flies. Maybe the bass would take those, because they do. Perhaps they're not expecting anything big up here. I haven't seen any fry. Smolts have gone. So that leaves them with basically crustaceans of one sort and another. We're missing a piece of the puzzle, that's for sure. Whatever happens, it's very peaceful here, even with the traffic. And it smells quite nice, whatever that means. We had a detour through Newport docks the other day in the night, and all you could smell was oil. It did kind of feel like home, but can manage without that now. What we want is for the piece to be broken by a raging 10-pound bass. That could appear on any cast. I've seen them here. They definitely exist here. Jesus Christ, there's a bass about 4 pound. Where's he going? Where's he going? He's heading out, 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 out. Get back, get back, get back. Come on, give me my lure. Seems to be heading towards that culvert over there. That was a good one, a chunky monkey. Of course, where's he gone? He's out there somewhere. That was about the same length as the last one I saw, about the same length as the one I caught the other day, but much beefier. So I reckon a good 4 pound. But where's he gone? Where has he gone? There's a lot of water. So I'm losing track now. How many bass have we seen and encountered and done no bloody good with? There's another one, he just followed it in from a distance of about 6 feet. And then refused it. What the hell is going on? I mean, that's two that have done that now. Just followed, is it two? Followed the lure in from about 5 or 6 feet distance. They're obviously sort of interested, but not proper interested. No question of attacking it or having a go at it, just nosing along behind it. Oh, look, look. Can you see him? Straight against the back wall. There's a bass just suspended. If I chuck the lure in now, that's gonna spook the crap out of him. Let's see what happens. Yep, spooked him. He's still there though. And what was he up to? He was just suspended there doing absolutely nothing. Is he watching? Maybe he's watching the wall. See if any shrimps or something would come out. Here we go. Somebody was at home. At last. Not very big, but I wonder if it was the one we just saw. Now he's engulfed that lure, look, he's not messing about, he's just had it. Oh, he's away, he's gone. There he goes. Never mind. Excellent. Now, did you see that? Were you watching? And count that as caught, really, because you could see him, he's about £1.5. He's going to go back anyway. And you could see from the position of the hook, which was dead centre of the mouth, in the roof of the mouth, and the lure was right back in his mouth. He just swum up behind it and engulfed that. So that was a really positive take. See, sometimes you've just got to have a bit of faith in your lure, and if 10 fish are going to be weird and one's going to be normal, then that's the way it is. But it would be nice if you could convert 6 of those fish into being normal, if we knew what they were doing. I know this looks a bit daft, but I've had bass on a neath estuary doing this, where there's deep water in a culvert like this. Because if I just sat here, just lifting her up and down, we've seen the bass come in here. They all come here to visit. Why waste time casting out there when you could just jig? Because the action on the lure when you're jigging it is fine. Good thing about these rubber lures is almost, even if he's not moving, there's a tiny bit of action. So you could just jig. Anyway, like I say, similar spot on the neath estuary. It worked. In the last couple of years we've seen wild behaviour from poor beagle sharks that we never expected, but you could see it on the echo sounder. In fact, I think my first ever video from like April 25, something like that, or one of the very first, was a 500-pound poor beagle behaving oddly. And we've seen suing behaving oddly, or probably perfectly normal to them, but completely alien to us. And the only reason we've been able to see it is because we've been using bright orange, fluorescent orange Rapalas in clear water. You can see the lure, see every inch of its progress, and you can see what the fish are doing to it, and you can't feel anything, and they don't get hooked. But they're quite capable of picking that lure up with its 2 treble hooks, or as it is now, single hooks, and moving it a yard to the side, just getting it out of their armchair. And we've seen some weird behaviour from the bass the last few days, more interested in floats than food. Maybe they're playing, maybe they're curious. I mean, sharks definitely play with the floats. I had a nice poor beagle once that I let my bait out past all the others in the spread, about, I don't know, 90, 100 metres out, and a poor beagle came up, took the float, I brought it back in. He'd slashed all the lines, so cut the bad line off, re-rigged, let it right back out, maybe 120 metres this time, and he took it straight away. Now, he wasn't coming into the spread of the floats, he wasn't in the obvious chum trail, he was way back. And the skipper of that boat wanted to get an underwater drone because he had a feeling the sharks were not doing what we thought. And he wanted to fly an underwater drone, obviously tethered to the boat some shape, to see what they're actually up to. But whenever you think they're doing the normal stuff, they're not. They're doing their stuff. We have no idea how their minds work. Well, I don't suppose you saw that. We just hooked another one and lost him. He was only small, about a pound. Oh, there was a take. Very sly take, close in then. Just a double thump, just grabbed the tail. Okay then, so we had a little bit of success there. We also saw some abject failure, but at least we were out, and we'll get back out again tonight, hopefully. So, see you later. Ta-ta for now. Thanks for watching. Toodle pip.